Okay, so today we're going to work on chapter 9 inequalities, a review of it. There are a bunch of questions that I'll be answering, and hopefully it'll give you a good idea of what chapter 9 is about and how to solve those questions. I would highly recommend to pause the video, answer one question, see if you got the right solution or not, and move further like that. Okay, so first question says, graph the linear and the quadratic inequalities given to you. So the first thing you need to do when it comes to linear inequalities is to change the graph into slope-intercept form. So the slope-intercept form again is y is equal to mx plus c. So I just need to move my y to the other side, make it positive. Same for 9 over here. So add y on both sides and add 9 on both sides. Y minus y is 0, 9 minus 9 is 0. So I'm left with 3x plus 9 is less than y. Okay, so y is bigger, that means above. We don't have an equal to sign, that means this is going to be a broken line. Okay, it's linear. Again, linear means that it'll be a straight line. Now you can do you can find the x-intercepts. So x-intercept is when y is 0, right? So 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. Subtract 9 on both sides, you get 3x is equal to you don't even minus 9, and then divide 3 on both sides, you get x is equal to negative 3. So your x value is negative 3. And then for y-intercept, you already know your y-intercept because that's your c value, so that's 9. Now you can draw a line with the ruler and look something like that. And then, am I done yet? No, because I need to make sure that my arrows are there. Also make sure that your line covers the whole graph. Might as well, right? So there you go. And then your arrows. Now this is going to be above and broken lines. So it's going to be this, broken lines, and above associate this whole region. And now I'm just going to remove my solid line because I don't want it to be confusing. Awesome. Okay, now equal to sign, and that means it's solid. But when you have a quadratic equation, you would want it in a standard form. So add 3 on both sides, you'll have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is greater than or equal to y. You would want to convert this into your vertex form, right? So let's do that, and factored form as well. So your vertex form, you would want to complete the square. So I'm going to divide this by 2 and then square it and add it. So it's going to be 2x squared plus 7x plus 49 over 4 minus 49 over 4 plus 3. Now this is going to be one of my equations. So it'll be 2 factored out, x squared plus 7 over 2 So now you factor out the 2, so you have 2x plus 7 over 2x. Leave the 3 as it is. And now you're going to do half of that. So 7/4 is going to be half, and square that. So 49 over 16. The reason why we factored the 2 is because we want the coefficient to be 1. If the question doesn't have the coefficient a number, it already has the coefficient of 1, then you don't have to factor it out. So 2x squared plus 7 halves x plus 49 over 16 minus 49 over 16 plus 3 is equal to y. So now I know this is going to be x plus 7 over 4 squared over 2. I'll have to move this outside my bracket, so I'll have to multiply it by 2 because all these numbers are being multiplied by it. So 49 over 16 plus 3. Simplify this because they're like terms, so I have negative 49 over 8 because 16 divided by 2 is 8, plus 3. Because it's denominator of 1, let's multiply and divide it by 8. So I have negative 49 over 8 plus 24 eighths, which is just negative 25 over 8, and this just comes back down, so we have this. Now that means my P and Q values are negative 7/4 and negative 25 8. Again, like if this is a question on the graphing calculator part, you don't have to find the vortex form and stuff, but and you can just put it in the graphing calculator. You can put this in the graphing calculator and then just shade it. But if it's on the non-calculator part, you'll have to do this. So negative 7 over 4 is negative 1.7 comma negative 4.1. So we are somewhere over here as my vortex. Yeah, okay. No, it's negative 3.1, so it'll be over here. Okay. And then now I need to find my x's, right? So to do that, I'll have to convert this into my factored form. So it'll be product is 6, sum is 7. So my factors can be 6 and 1. So it'll be 2x squared plus 6x plus 1x plus 3. If the coefficient was 1, it would be much easier. Equated to 0. I can factor out 2x, so x plus 3. Factor out the 1, x plus 3. Now I have 1 term, 2 term. Factor out the x plus 3. And then you have 2x plus 1. So I have x is equal to negative 3 and negative half. So let's put those points in there. Negative half and negative 3. My y intercept is going to be 3, because remember, whatever your c value is, it is your y-intercept. So 3 is where we'll connect. And then this is what your graph should look like. Okay, now we are doing quadratics, right? Y is less than. Less than means that it's going to be above or below? Below. So I'll be shading this part, and again solid line, right, because it's an equal to. Okay. Shading quadratics does involve a lot of steps. If it's from standard form. If it's with vortex form, you can figure out your P and Q. You can figure out your x-intercept, y-intercept, and solve and just graph it, right? Awesome. Now, you need to figure out the equation when the graph is given to you. So pause the video, try it. It's below and it's solid. My test points can be 0, 0. Okay. Now, I know that I I need it in y is equal to, so y is, because it's below, it's less than equal to, below and equal to mx plus c. My slope, to figure out my slope, I'll have to go to a point, right? So I'm going rise over run. Rise is 2, run is 4. So m is going to be 2 over 4, which is half, and half x plus c is c or b, whatever you call it. B is your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is 2, and that's my answer. Easy peasy. So you go up and you go right to the point. Okay, now b, let's verify it. Let's put 0, 0 in there, and the statement should be true because it's part of the shaded portion. So 0 is less than half times 0 plus 2. 0 is less than 2 because this is 0 plus 2 and that's 0. That's true, hence I've verified that this is correct as well. Again, test point can be 0, 0. I have dotted line and it's below. So not equal to, below, y will be less than. So y is less than. I can just figure it out in my vertex form, right? So x minus p whole squared plus q. Don't forget about the whole squared. So p is my vertex, right? So it is -2 and -2 comma 9. Yes, -2 comma 9. So that's my p and q. Don't mix it up. So ax plus 2 squared, because negative times -2 is +2, plus q is 9, less than y. I'm not done yet though. Remember, quadratics does require you to find a value. To find your a value, you'll make this equation like that. You will consider a point on the parabola. You can take, let's take this. So we have 0, 5. 5 is equal to y. A 0 plus 2 squared plus, q was 9. Okay, this is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 4a plus 9. Subtract 9 on both sides. You get -4 is equal to 4a. Divide 4 on both sides. You get a is equal to -1. I need to sub that into this. So it'll be y is less than -1. X plus 2 whole squared plus 9. That's my final answer. Let's use my test points to check if it's correct or not. So I'm going to put my test points in this equation. 0 is less than -1. 0 plus 2 whole squared plus 9. So 2 squared is 4. -4 plus 9. 0 is less than -4 plus 9 is 5. That's true. That means my equation is true as well. If I took a point over here, if I put this point in my equation, would it be true or not? It wouldn't be. So you can also verify using a point outside, but it would be false in that case. Okay, then it'll be, yeah, you did a good job, you found it correctly. Okay, just remember, it's always vertex form and point intercept form you're trying to get to. Okay, always isolate your y. Okay, now we are doing the one variable inequality questions, which was lesson 8. Pause the video, try this. So they have given us the equation, it's one variable. So move everything on one side and you would want 0 is less than equal to 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. In this case, I could also factor my factor 2 because all these have 2 in them. So when you factor 2, you get this. Now they're asking to figure out your x-intercept. X-intercept is when y is equal to 0. To figure out my x-intercept, I'll have to convert this equation into the factored form. So when I do that, I can just divide both sides by 2. When I do that, I get 0 is equal to x squared minus x minus 6. So product is negative 6. Sum is negative 1. My factors will be negative 3 comma 2. So because the coefficient is 1 here, I can just say x minus 3 times x plus 2. X will be 3 and negative 2. So those are my x-intercepts right there. It'll be 3 comma 0 and negative 2 comma 0. So these are my critical points, remember you guys? So I need to put these points on the number line. Will I have a solid circle or an empty circle? A solid, because there is an equal to sign. Okay, so solid on positive 3 and negative 2. Now I need to figure out what values will be acceptable. So you draw these lines and you have 1, 2, 3 points to figure out which ones will be part of the solution. So let's take 0, 0 because it's the easiest, and always put it in the original equation. So 12 less than equal to 2x squared minus 2x. So x in this case is 0 comma 0, right? That's the point I'm taking. Sorry, x is equal to 0 is what I'm taking. There is no y. 12 is less than equal to 2 times 0 is just 0, minus 2 times 0 is 0 again. So I have 12 is less than equal to 0. Is 12 less than equal to 0? No, it's not. So this is not part of the solution. Let's take x is equal to 4, the smallest number. Or actually, let's take 5 because 5 is easy too. You can take 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever you want. You can take 10 as well. So just putting it in this equation, 2 times 5 squared is 25. Minus 2 times 5. So 2 times 25 is 50. Minus 2 times 5 is 10. 12 is less than equal to 50 minus 10 is 40. That's true. 12 is less than 40. Let's do the same for negative 5 now. You can also take negative 3, whatever you prefer. So 2 times negative 5 squared minus 2 times negative 5. 2 times negative 5 squared is 2 times 25, which is 50. Minus times minus is plus. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 is less than equal to 50 plus 10, which is 60. Is that true? Yes, it is. That means my solution is going to be x, or let's do interval notation first. So it's going to be from negative infinity all the way till negative 2 square bracket union, because or 3 till positive infinity. So in my set notation, it's going to be x is less than equal to negative 2 or x is greater than equal to 3 XER. Okay, make sure you know how to write this down in set notation. Okay, let's do our last question for question 9. It's an application question. Pierre wants to take his extended family to a movie at an IMAX theater. He has a budget of $150 to spend on the tickets. Tickets for children cost $9.50 and tickets for adults cost $13.95. Write an inequality that represents the number of tickets that Pierre can afford. Graph the solution region. Interpret the solution set in reference to the number of tickets. Okay, pause the video, try the question. Okay, so he has a budget of $150 to spend. He doesn't want to spend more than that. He can spend less than that, of course, right? So let's say there are C number of children going, because we don't know how many kids are there in his extended family, and A number of adults going. That means cost of tickets for however many adults he has, it's going to be $13.95 times A, and for children it's going to be $9.50 times C. And the money he wants to spend, the sum of all this should be either less than $150 or equal to, okay? Because you want this to be less than, right? Okay, that's my inequality. That's where most people make the mistake. Now, when it comes to graphing, you would want to look at, because is this a linear equation or quadratic? It's a linear equation because the variables are to the power of 1. Now, because it's a linear inequality, you would want it in slope intercept form, right? So let's say A is your y and C is your, actually let's take C as your y and A as your x, okay? You can take either or, doesn't matter. That means you'll have A over here, so number of adults over here, and number of kids or children over here. Okay, so let's make it in slope intercept form. Let's subtract 150 from both sides, and subtract negative 9.50 C from both sides. So I get negative 9.50 C is greater than equal to 13.95 minus 150. Now, because I want my value is in slope form, right? Y is equal to mx plus b. I want y with the coefficient of 1. So divide 950 from both sides, negative 950. Now, because I'm dividing with the negative number, I need to switch my sign. Don't forget to do that, okay? So when I do this and I simplify all the fractions and make them into decimal, I'll get C is less than equal to 1.42A plus 15.79. So this is my y-intercept, right? So approximately they can take 15.79 kids, because it's decimal and you cannot take 0.79 kids with you. Let's just round it, okay? Let's take C is less than equal to, we'll take 1A plus 16, okay? So this will be your 16. Let's figure out what will your x-intercept be. X-intercept is when y is equal to 0. So let's equate this equal to 0, and then 1.42a plus 15.979. Subtract 15.79 on both sides. So you get negative 15.79, and then divide with 1.42, and you'll get the adults equal to 11.11, and that's A is equal to 11, okay? They cannot be 11 adults, so we'll just take that. And because it's a linear equation and because we have a equal to sign, it will be a solid line. Okay, so let's draw a solid line. Would I need to have arrows going on? No, I wouldn't, right? Because if there are arrows, we'll be on the negative side, and in a real life situation you cannot have negative. So make sure when you have these real life equation questions, don't draw arrows and don't have the negative quadrants, okay? And because our C is less than, it'll be shaded underneath. That's it. Okay, question part C says interpret the solution set in reference to the number of tickets. So you cannot have negative numbers, so you'll just shade quadrant 1. You can take maximum 16 children or maximum with 0 adults, and or you can take 11 adults, 0 children, and number of children will decrease as the number of adults increase. But you can take up to 11 adults without children, okay? That's it. Let me know if you have any questions about chapter 9 at all, or if there are specific questions you would like me to solve.